And pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sterling High School. Sterling 0-3, Seneca the same, 0-3. Both teams going to look for their first win of this 2020 season. Beautiful mid-October night for football, 66 degrees, really no breeze to speak of. And the humidity's up a little bit. We'll see if the fog plays in a factor, as it has over the last several nights here. And you could take a look right now in proximity where Sterling is to where Seneca is, and directly east in that Tabernacle kind of Wharton State Forest area, and directly east of here. So about a 35, 45-minute bus ride away, and we don't see this team a whole heck of a lot. But now you took a look at the West Jersey Football League Colonial standings. Haddonfield on top there, followed by Willingboro. Collingswood 1-1, who Sterling saw a couple weeks back, and now you look at the bottom there, Sterling and West Deptford. Hard to imagine West Deptford 0-2, but you look over at the Independence standings. Seneca 0-3 on the season, still yet to play a game inside of their division. But Sterling will kick off to start this game, looking for their first win of the season in a game that wasn't originally scheduled, but they'll take a home match for sure. And the kick is low line drive, taking it about the 15-yard line, and some room up the near sideline. Nice tackle out to about the 34-yard line. That's where the Golden Eagles will take over first and 10. Take a look at the starting offense for the Seneca Golden Eagles. Braden Davis is going to be your quarterback, number 22. Your running backs, Klenk, Thorpe, Konopka, and then your receiving core, Handy, Carlin, and then your offensive line of Drayden Smith, Sider, Baldacchino, and McMullen. Braden Davis, only a sophomore for the Golden Eagles, wearing the real nice, easy to read, thank you for that, and, the white with the black numbers, and they might be green actually.
11:50.
They want to have the clock set back to 11:50. I believe that's what they said. Take a look at the defense for Sterling. Rashad McQueen, Jameer Richardson, Jacob Parris, and Taylor are your defensive tackles. And then your linebacker core, Miller, Agbesi, Shipley, and Barber. And then Valeriano, Vi, and Thompson. First play is bobbled, and Sterling recovers. First snap of the game, Sterling falls on the errant snap. Barber Davis couldn't hang on to it. And Sterling in business on defense.
You want to start out a game like that? Sterling has to take advantage of this, and this is what they need. They need to score a touchdown early. They haven't been able to score a lot of touchdowns this season, but they are capable. The wide receivers are great. Thompson can throw the ball. He can also use his feet if he has to, but they need to capitalize on this quickly.
Yoel Rodriguez on the recovery for Sterling. And they are in business here, first and 10 from the Seneca 30. Davis just couldn't hang on to the snap. It looks like he went to make his move before he actually had full possession of the ball. Now Sterling switching things up on offense. They're going to switch Valeriano to the near side. Thompson from the shotgun. Option. Finds Valeriano. No, it's incomplete. Good defense there by Seneca on the coverage. And there's a penalty marker thrown late.
I don't know whether that's going to be called for, but I know Sterling went right there, wanted a pass interference, but it looked like it could be a holding call here. How close it was to the scrimmage.
Flag thrown in the middle of the field.
It's actually
An eligible member of the team downfield. That's going to go against Sterling. That'll cost him 5.
An early mistake from Sterling, but a nice attempt to throw the ball from Thompson, unable to connect with his wide receiver, and right now they're lost. They didn't lose any yards, so
they're going to decline the penalty. I thought that they would actually take that penalty. Nonetheless, interesting call there by the Seneca coaching staff. Nonetheless, second down and 10. Thompson from the shotgun now. Sterling trying to capitalize on the turnover. They're not You see number 5 carrying. That's not Trey Potts. That's Hassan Blakeney, the senior from transfer from Camden, making his first carry of the game. Trey Potts out tonight. So used to calling number 5 Trey Potts, and there's going to be an official timeout on the field as Blakeney picks up about 4.5.
You see right here, he's almost like another Trey Potts in a way. He's has the speed, has the agility, and see right there, an injury for Sterling.
That's TJ String, the defensive lineman that's Jacob Parrish for Sterling, And you look at these two teams, Seneca only getting a couple points a game here. And the defense is really where the issues lie for both of these squads right now. A combined, 65 points a game on average. I mean, that's a lot. So that's an area I know that Sterling really wants to work on is the number of points allowed per game. Obviously, both these teams sitting at 0 for the season. And this is the first time that these two teams have actually met. You look at some of the Sterling stats here. Jeremiah Thompson, 48-83 for 487 yards, 6 touchdowns on the ground. Jeremiah Thompson, 17 carries for $133 and a touch, as well as Xavier DeAndre at 23 carries, 56 yards. And Valeriano has been a real nice surprise here for Sterling on the wideout spot. 14 catches. Hope you have him on your fantasy team. 14 catches, 200 yards. That'll get you some good fantasy numbers. You see Jacob Parrish making his way back. Sean Clank and head coach Dan Harris out there, making sure that Jacob Parrish, the senior 6'1", 225-pounder, making his way back to the sideline a little gingerly. So he'll sit out of play. 3rd down and about 6 once he makes his way back to the sideline.
Probably going to see probably going to try to head it into the end zone maybe.
Thompson from the shotgun, man in motion. Thompson going to call his own number right up the middle, penalty marker thrown. And we'll take a look at the penalty as Thompson is inside the 10, but that thrown at the 27, and that is in the area of hold, and it is.
You see right here, the offensive line able to get Thompson in the room, but they get a hold for it, and something you don't want to see, some back yardage. You had a great opportunity right here to get the first down. You also got the fumble recovery in Seneca's own half of the field, and you're kind of almost wasting this possession right now with a big opportunity to score.
Sterling was in business, 1st and 10 at the Seneca 30, and they are now retreating back to midfield on a 3rd and 15. They have to get to nearly the 20-yard line for a first down. Thompson from the shotgun, 2 wide receivers to the near side, and that's where he's looking. Thompson looking, throwing, has a man complete in Valeriano, and he is pushed into his own bench just shy of the 30-yard line, well short of the first down, only gains about 6. And that's going to bring up a 4th and about 12.
Right now, it looks like they might go for it. So it's going to be interesting. An interesting play call going on 4th and 10 right away in this first quarter. Very gutsy call. So it's going to be 4th and 10 to get this completion.
Punt doesn't really do any good here in terms of field position, but Sterling going to split their wideouts to the far side this time and flank their running backs. Now they're going to move everything around. Everybody getting shifted around here as Richardson lines up as a wide receiver. Thompson back to pass, being pressured, and he is sacked in the backfield. Well played there by Adam Clank. The junior linebacker came in, and Thompson had no shot.
You're going to see right here, they're going to send an all-out blitz, really. Actually, no, I don't think that was even a blitz whatsoever. If you look right here, number, I think it might have been 73, unable to cover Clank and lets him go free, and there's the sack.
So Sterling can't capitalize on the botched snap from Seneca. We'll see how Braden Davis, the sophomore quarterback, handles their second possession. They actually gained yardage. They gained 12 extra yards, and they're starting at their own 42 instead of their own 30. Now from the shotgun. Hands off draw right up the middle. Here's Clank again. Clank tackled inside Sterling territory down about the 37.
And Adam Clank right now is, as I look at his stats, a very dangerous running back. 61 attempts for 295 yards. So he's a very dangerous running back for Seneca. So Sterling, again, always has been having the problem on the run game. Able to do well in the passing game, but run game is really unable to stop it.
Clank, one of the 6 seniors that they have on this team. He's going to get the call again off the left-hand side. Shakes the tackle. He's got some room down the far sideline. And a touchdown-saving tackle on that far side, just shy of the 20-yard line. Otherwise, that may have been 6 for the Golden Eagles.
And again, the Golden Eagles must have been looking at the film, because they obviously know that going out wide has been also Sterling's biggest weakness. They're able to almost go around the whole defense, and luckily Sterling's able to stop them.
1st and 10 from the 22, 8:45 remaining in a scoreless first. Second possession of the evening for the Golden Eagles. And they are just 6 feet shy of the red zone.
Now,
they call his own number this time, does Braden Davis. Sizable gain there of about 9. It'll be 2nd down and 1, but they're in the red zone and they're moving the ball effectively on the ground.
Really have been. And again, Brandon Davis, 33 attempts and 114 yards with 1 touchdown. So he's going to use his feet, and Seneca is going to use him as a running back too. So it's either really going to be Clank or Davis that's going to run the ball.
Davis operating from the shotgun. Going to pass it this time out into the flat to Konopka. Konopka tackled nicely inside the 15. Great tackle there by David Barber, the senior.
And again, they tried to do the wide receiver screen, but Sterling defense able to read that and get the tackle real quick. As soon as he throws it, you see two Sterling defenders right on him.
3rd down and 1, 7:30 remaining here in the scoreless first quarter. First ever meeting between Seneca and Sterling, at least from the field anyway, on this beautiful night for football. Is Clank up the middle again inside the 10, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Golden Eagles.
Again, it's going to be interesting how they're going to try to stop this run game, and as you see here, Clank gets them a 1st down, and it's a 1st and goal here now situation for the Golden Eagles. So let's see how Sterling's red zone defense is able to stop them.
1st and goal from the 5. Davis hands it off to Clank. Clank trying to power his way into the end zone. He's pushing forward. No signal yet. Now it comes in from the near sideline. Touchdown. 5-yard touchdown run by Adam Clank gives the Golden Eagles their first lead of the night, 6-0.
Not to mention, Sterling, again, able to get the fumble recovery, unable to do anything with that possession, and now they go for it on the 4th and 10, get the big sack. All momentum now goes to the Golden Eagles, and now they got a touchdown, so more momentum for the Golden Eagles.
Vince Abate on to attempt the extra point. Sterling, somebody jumped. A lot of movement there. Let's see what the call is.
That penalty's been declined, so Seneca will just restart for this.
The snap, the hold, the kick by Abate is up, and the kick is good. 6:49 remaining in the first. Golden Eagles on the board first, 7-0 here against Sterling.
Right now, Sterling already down a touchdown, and like we saw before, able to get that fumble recovery and get nothing to do with it. Got a huge sack on 4th and 10, and you can see right here, Seneca scores quite early. And right now, Sterling's got to find a way to boost up their offense and try to get a touchdown here. And you see the 5-yard push from flank for the touchdown, and he's a very dangerous senior, so.
The one thing that Seneca did not do to Sterling, at least that a lot of teams have done over the last 3 games here, is score on the big play early on. And they marched their way down the field. There's no doubt about it. And they scored, and they looked impressive in the run game. But the one thing that they didn't do was rip off those 40, 50-yard touchdown runs and more that we saw over the last 3 games. So Sterling's just got to get something going offensively. Special teams, and a fumble here is thrown into no man's land, and Seneca recovers, I believe. Jumping on the ball was Tommy Besser, and I have no idea what was happening here. I think they were trying a little trickery here. That was Xavier Miller, the freshman. Looked like he was going to try and toss it to Blackney, and
not on the same page.
Definitely not on the same page is a good way to put it.
That even looked like a forward pass too, for like a forward lateral. So I think that would still have been called back, but refs didn't see it. So
1st and 10 for Seneca on a short field at the Sterling 29. High snap taken. Here comes Clank trying to get some room. He does. He has it, cuts it back inside. Clank, shoestring tackle and a touchdown saving tackle inside the 10 at about the 5.
Richardson able to get there luckily, and really looked like Clank was going to get that touchdown for a minute, and Richardson able to get that diving tackle. Now he grabs his foot and doesn't go anywhere. And really, Sterling has no answer in a way, to stopping Clank right now. And
it's a 22-yard run by number 22, or that's number 2 rather. So trip 2's on the board. 1st and goal from the 7. 6:15 remaining here in the first. Not so much this time. Clank thrown backwards, hit first there by Rashawn McQueen, the senior.
That was not Clank. That was number 3.
They threw in Thorpe.
2nd and goal.
Seneca in full control here, both offensively and defensively, but Sterling kind of shot themselves in the foot there on that kickoff, kind of tossing it into no man's land. And
like I said, they weren't on the same page, and Seneca's easily could be scoring right here.
Here comes Clank down the far sideline, and what a hit, a stiff arm, and stays in bounds. Got to rise out of the crowd, and man, what a hit that was. And you have an injured Knight down there.
Right, he takes a shoulder pad. Take another look right here, and I'm gonna see, leans in with his shoulder with the second Sterling defender coming right here, and
got low.
Yeah.
And the Sterling defender definitely got the worst of it.
I think that might be Thompson.
It's Jeremiah Thompson, the quarterback, also playing obviously both sides of the ball there, playing defensive back. And there's a guy that you cannot take off the field for if you're a Sterling Silver Knight fan. You can't see Jeremiah Thompson go down here. He takes a shot here, and this place is dead silent right now. He's sitting up, which is good.
He really gets drilled. Really unfortunate for Thompson, and he gets up by his own, but
Santino Savarese is the backup quarterback for Sterling and taking some throws here on the near sideline. Thompson, real tough kid. He's gonna bounce back. I wouldn't be surprised if he just misses a play or two. Jeremiah Thompson, 5'11", 180. Took a real tough hit. You heard that all the way up here, John. That was a big hit.
That was, and to be able to get up and how much he did, and shows how much tough of a character and how much tough of a person he is. So we could be missing him for 1 or 2 plays, but he'll likely come back.
First and goal from the 10. Back to pass, looking right, throwing right, incomplete. No penalty marker thrown. That's just really, really good defense. Blackney on the coverage.
And again, we talk about Sterling's defense. Sterling's able to is a very good passing defense, but on the run, they can't really stop the run game. And I think that's what Seneca needs to really be using on their advantage. Not try to pass it, use the run game as more of their advantage. They know Sterling can't really stop the run.
So 4th and 10, 5:03 remaining in the first, and the Golden Eagles going to leave their offense on the field, put 2 wide receivers to the near side, and they have to get in the end zone or else they turn the ball over. Looking to pass, looking across the middle, man wide open, and they just missed him. Intended in the back of the end zone for Matt Carlin, who had a step, and they just couldn't connect.
And really very lucky for Sterling that they didn't, because he was really left wide open, able to get away from his man, and
Davis just couldn't put a little bit too much air underneath it. On the coverage was Valeriano, who will now switch from defense to offense, and Jeremiah Thompson back into the game for Sterling, and just as we called it, he'll miss a couple plays and come back in. So Sterling backed up deep inside their own territory at their own 10. Thompson looking to pass, looking for on the near side for Blackney, and just overthrows him. There on the coverage for the Golden Eagles was Thorpe, but Blackney had the step, and a beautiful throw by Thompson just went a little too far.
Nice try from Thompson, and tried to get the new guy a reception and unable to, but I think later in this game we'll see them able to get some receptions together, some chemistry, and able to get some more catches and up the field.
After the incompletion, 2nd down and 10, 4:52 remaining here in the first. 7-0 Golden Eagles on the 5-yard touchdown run by Adam Clank. Thompson shifting his offense around. Man in motion is Blackie. And he'll get the carry. Makes a cut up. Nice cut inside. Close to a first down. He picks up 11. And they'll move the chains. Shifty little move by Hassan Blackney, the transfer from Camden.
And he does a very good job to quickly changes an angle right there and quickly gains back his speed, all momentum, and almost able to get a first down. Oh, he does get the first down.
Pickup of 11. So Sterling out of the shadow of their own end zone. A little bit of breathing room here at the 21. Thompson from the shotgun. Hand it off right up the middle again. Same play, different result. Short gain there for Sterling, as I believe that's Richardson on the carry. Their short yardage back getting a look here, and we talked about him a couple weeks ago and how he 6'1", 225. He's a tough guy to bring down.
He definitely want to use them later on the end of the third, towards the start of the fourth, where defenses are really run down, and he'll break out some huge tackles and really wear down the defense.
And Richardson again on the carry, going backwards. The Seneca defensive line all over that one. He may have even lost a yard there. We'll see where they mark it. No gain, 3rd down and 9, 3:22 remaining here in the first. Glad you joined us here on Channel 19. Rob Strauss, John Hallwood joining us shortly, Kevin Schulz, on a beautiful Friday night for football. Thompson from the shotgun, going to call his own number, runs right into the arms of Zach Worrell, and that's where Thompson goes down, but picks up about 6, and it'll be a 4th and 4 on the way for Sterling.
Now, here's the thing. Is now Sterling going to try to catch Seneca on an offside play and maybe get that extra 5 yards for that first down?
That's a real good point, John. Watch the hard down here by Jeremiah Thompson. They're going to go a 3 wide receiver look to the near side, 1 to the far. Thompson, quick snap, looking across the middle, and it is complete. Wow. Hassan Blackney out to the 46-yard line in between coverage. What a great throw and catch.
Really, you just said it right there. Great throw, great catch. Thompson, Blackney was in the 2-man coverage and breaks 2 tackles, almost breaks the second one. Still, just unbelievable. This really is. Great throw by Thompson, great catch by Blackney, and Sterling gets the first down. And
penalty marker thrown as Thompson calls his own number for no gain. That's right in the area of holding. So sports.
Again.
Yay, sports. A lot of good sports going on here on campus. Boys soccer, big win yesterday. Girls soccer, tough loss last night, 2-0 on West Deptford's home field.
I believe girls soccer plays Haddonfield Monday.
Boys soccer, they have a home game here tomorrow morning. Make sure you check that out. I think that game is a 10 a.m. start, I believe. After the penalty, 1st and long, Thompson in trouble, and he goes down behind the original line of scrimmage, so Sterling going backwards again. They're back out to their own 35. I'll check that was Blackney.
2nd down and 20.
See right here.
The read option. The 5 and the 3. I wish somebody was wearing a straight number instead of a crooked number.
We can all wish.
Listen, I'm going to give Seneca a ton of kudos here. The numbers are so easy to read.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos to the athletic staff of Seneca for making the numbers easy to read with white uniforms.
Thank you for making our job easier.
Thompson looking across the middle for Valeriano, off his fingertips, incomplete. Almost picked off on the deflection.
Here we go. We're going to have a nice view here.
Almost fell into the hands of Thorpe, who was coming in late from the safety position. And it that would have spelled disaster for Sterling with under a minute to go here in the first.
He almost got that too.
Thompson took a lick at the end of that play as well.
Unable to pull it down and grab it, but at least it's not an interception. They're able to get another chance at this 3rd and 20.
Valeriano lines up on the near side. Thompson keeps it himself right up the middle, has some room, and he's buried. He's went to slide. I'm looking for a flag. No flag thrown as Zach Fearon came in and hit Thompson.
Thompson up the middle.
It'll be 4th down and 10.
That's a very tough call right there. I almost want to see if he was sliding at the same time as he was diving.
I think if he made contact with the head first, that was an obvious penalty, but I think they said that like you said, that's one of those in-between calls, and I think he went shoulder pad first, but if you had heard the helmet to helmet, obviously there would have been a flag. 4th down and 10. Sterling needs to get to the Seneca 44 for first down. Thompson back to pass, looking across the middle. It's incomplete. And Seneca will take over on downs inside of Sterling territory with 4.6 left to go in the first.
Again, I'm quite surprised that they actually went for this. This is a 4th and 10. You really got to punt this. You're going to probably get it around Seneca's 10, maybe 5-yard line, maybe, if you get a good Sterling bounce, but I don't really understand why they would go for this. You still got a first and second quarter, and then a 3rd and 4th quarter to all go on. But I know you're trying to tie up this game, but you still got plenty of game left.
Handoff up the middle to Clank. Clank able to maybe get a yard as the first quarter expires. 7-0 Seneca on the 5-yard touchdown run by the aforementioned Adam Clank. We'll get off to a quick break, come back with second quarter action right after this.
People are oblivious of facts and supportive of the fiction. What should you believe? Believe the facts. COVID-19 is a real problem, and here's how you can do your part. Social distancing works. 6 feet apart from everyone. Proper mask placement prevents the virus from getting in and out, and lets you breathe normally. And if you're not near a sink, you can use hand sanitizer to kill the virus before it can keep spreading. But whenever you can, wash your hands. Soap, water, happy birthday. You know the drill. Let's help each other get through this. Stay safe, stay healthy, and go to cdc.gov for more information.
First play of the second quarter underway here at Sterling High School, trailing by 7. Davis going to keep it himself and push forward across the 40-yard line down to the 39, close to a first down, and bring up a 3rd and short.
You can see right here, they haven't gone to Davis this much so far in this game, but they go for him again. Takes it himself and able to get a nice gain. It's 3rd down and pretty easy to get. Maybe probably give it to your best.
You're looking at 4-down territory here either way, John. So it's going to be 3rd, and we're going to call it a long 2. Davis on the option. Options at the last second to Clank, and Clank is going to go the distance for the touchdown. 39 yards on the option. Davis, in desperation on his way down, flicks it to Clank on the option, and he goes in for 6.
Very unlucky for Sterling right there. It was either him gonna try to run it himself, but they do try to get Davis down, but they able to get it a flank, and I'm gonna see right here.
Let's see if his knee was down. I mean, that's really, really close. I would love to see if we can, after the extra point, if we can slow that one down. Here comes the extra point, the snap, the hold, the kick by Abate is up, and the kick is good. 11-10 left to go here in the half, and Seneca out to a 14-0 lead.
And here we go. We're going to see a different angle of this.
Now, watch the knee. Is the knee down? No. I mean, that's really, really close.
That is really close. I mean, great job from Seneca, the Golden Eagles, to be able to pull off that play, and Clank is having a field day right now. Able to grab, I believe that is his second touchdown of the game. So,
let's go, Drew.
11-10 remaining here in the second quarter. That's a real close one. We'll take another look at it. Now watch the knee. Davis in desperation. I think he got it off. I think he got it away.
I think he did too.
That's something that you see a lot in. If you watch Navy play, they run that triple option, and that's your quarterback's going to take a lick, and you see a lot of that, and that just happened to be right place, right time for Adam Clank, and works for the midshipmen, and it's working here for the Golden Eagles. 14-0. And there's that big play that we talk about, 39 yards out. Sterling was able to avoid that in that first quarter, not so much here on the second play of the second quarter, rather. Kickoff takes Blackney back inside his own 10. Going to go midfield, and now he is surrounded by white jerseys, and he goes down. Penalty marker comes in as Blackney goes down at around the 23.
This might be blocking in the back.
It is. Good call. You're 1 for 1 tonight.
Woohoo! That's you see right here, and a very nice kick from Seneca to send Blackney back. And I thought for a minute he was going to get tackled quite quickly around those players, but gets around them. But you get that flag for blocking in the back, and what was on the 20-yard line is now in your own. I don't even know where they're going to place the ball.
Sterling inside their own 10 at about the 8, I believe.
Next will begin this drive on the 8-yard line.
So once again, Sterling starting another drive in the shadow of their own end zone. Thompson's thrown a couple good balls tonight, just can't really connect. Going to throw this one again out into the flat. Nice cut back inside. For he is absolutely buried. It's Blackney on the catch. Nice tackle by Chris Baldacchino.
You see here, Blackney tries to get break the first tackle, and he kind of stumbles. And I think that kind of what breaks it for him right here is that he stumbles and he's not able to quickly break away and maybe get more.
Gave the defense a chance to collapse in on him. It did. That's a great hit by Baldacchino. No quit on the play by him. Pickup of about 3, 2nd down and 7 on the way for Sterling. From the shotgun, Thompson. Richardson out to the 15. 3rd and manageable. It'll be about a 3rd down and 3 for the Silver Knights.
Again, they try to use Richardson a lot, but again, you really don't use Richardson until, like I said again, late in the 3rd and the 4th quarter, start of the 4th quarter. That's when defenses start getting tired down, and they really don't want to face someone like his caliber that much.
4 wide receiver look now for Sterling on 3rd and 3 with just about 9:30 remaining in the 3rd. They're going to go with Richardson and the Seneca defensive line all over it, and that's going to bring up an interesting call for Coach Harris here on 4th and 2 at their own 20. And there you can hear them yell punt.
Yeah, it's not worth it to go for it. You're almost giving Seneca a free touchdown if you really go for it and miss it.
Sterling can't get anything going offensively. So Thompson back to punt. And back deep to receive is Jake Handy, standing at midfield.
But there's a flag on the field.
It looks like they're counting 12 men on the field against Sterling, and now it's going to back him up even more. One too many players as you see Jakur McPherson jog off the field. And that is not going to make the coaching staff very happy. Already backed up. And now Thompson from his own goal line. Gets a snap, puts it away, and the Golden Eagles were coming, and he gets away. A great punt, takes a Sterling bounce, and it stops dead at about the 44-yard line. Golden Eagles will take over 1st and 10 from their own 44. Don't forget, follow Channel 19 on Twitter at Sterling TV 19. All the highlights, updates, student-produced commercials, all sorts of great stuff, PSAs, like the one done by one of our producers. Andrew Kane does a great job on the road for us. I don't know in what capacity he's in tonight. I don't know if he's in the truck on the camera. He's actually doing graphics this evening, I'm being told. So shout out senior Andrew Kane, doing a great job. Helps out so much with our remote broadcast when we're not in the comfy confines of the castle. 1st and 10 for the Golden Eagles. Pass this time complete to Konopka. Konopka picks up 10 or 9 and a 1st down.
You see here, for the longest time, Seneca is unable to really get a decent pass off, and now they get their first, really, I think the longest pass they've gotten so far this game has been this 9-yard pass.
And they're going to the hurry up here. No huddle offense for the Golden Eagles, looking to really pounce on Sterling and add some more points to the board. Here comes Clank again, spun around. He has a 1st down, but he's pushed backwards, got out to about the 44 of Sterling. But they'll stop the clock, move the chains at 8:03, but a 1st down. And it's really been the Adam Clank show, one of the 6 seniors on this team, the junior really making an impact.
And you see right here, they almost get him down, and you think he's about to go down, and all of a sudden he's just able to pop back right up.
Took 3 to 4 Sterling Knights to take him down. 1st and 10 for the Seneca Golden Eagles at the Sterling 45. Back to pass is Davis, looking across the middle, and is complete. Cutting back inside is Handy, and Handy picks about 17 in a 1st down.
Davis able to get a nice pass off to his wide receiver, and a nice come back pass, so nice sideline catch too.
Good presence of mind to cut it back inside instead of just running out of bounds and pick up the extra yards. They call that yak, yards after catch. For those of you scoring at home, there'll be a trivia, a quiz on this later. Draw right up the middle to Clank. Clank tackled nicely by Hassan Blackney. Check that, Hassan Blackney.
And again, I go back to look at Clank's stats right here, and yeah, it doesn't score. He hasn't scored touchdowns in a while. He hasn't actually scored any touchdowns this season, so his first 2 touchdowns are right now in this game.
Having himself a career night so far. We know he's got 2 touchdowns, and he's had a whole chunk of yards, 39 of them coming on the last score. Davis from the shotgun with Clank to his right. Davis back to pass, being pressured, setting up the screen, and is short, trying to hook up with Clank. Credit to the Sterling defense. They sniffed out that screen, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Seneca unable to get the screen going, but you see right here, if he picks it up, throws the ball up a little higher maybe, you could see it maybe working and seeing a nice big yardage for Seneca.
So 3rd down coming up for Seneca at the Sterling 20, we'll call it the 29-yard line, 28 maybe. Davis going to call his own number again inside the 25 down to about the 23. It's going to bring up a 4th and about 4.
And again, Davis.
See where they mark it. A 4th and a solid 5.
Wouldn't be surprised if they go for it.
Well, at this point, unless you have a high-end collegiate or NFL kicker, you're looking at about, let's see if the ball's at you're looking at about a 40-yard field goal right now, 40 plus.
Seneca does have a kicker, but I don't think he can kick 40-yard field goal.
Not often you see high school kickers going that far. I think one of the kickers that I know pretty well, Jake Brownell, wound up going to the Naval Academy and played at West Deptford, had a heck of a foot, and then transferred to Temple. Davis from the shotgun on 4th down, passing complete, inbounds, inside the 10, and a 1st down.
A very nice rollout from Davis there.
Hooks up with Thorpe on the far sideline.
Goes to his
1st and goal for the Seneca Eagles.
Again, Davis is able to use his legs and able to throw. Nice pass right here, and
Watch out for Clank here, going to go for the hat trick. They go to Clank again. Clank inside the 5, going forward towards the goal line. Does he have his 3rd? He's going to be a couple yards shy. Pickup of 7 as we are under 5 minutes left to go in the half, and Seneca in full control offensively and defensively. We thought, John, initially that Sterling was in really good shape on the first snap of the game. They recovered the fumble at the Seneca 30-yard line. It's been nothing but Golden Eagle football since then.
Really has, and see Davis now take it, and
Davis walks into the end zone from 2 yards out. Touchdown, Golden Eagles, makes it 20-0 with 4:30 remaining here in the half.
I think the Sterling defense was expecting the run, but they were expecting more of Clank, not Davis, on this situation. Davis takes it himself, gets the touchdown, and right now Seneca's up by 20, and Sterling unable to answer defensively and offensively to Seneca's. Let's see if they can get the extra point here. Like we said, Seneca does have a kicker, but we don't think.
Beautiful kick there by Abate, and the kick is up and good. 4.5 remaining here in the half, and Sterling trailing this one 21-0.
I was just looking at that kick, and I'm like, I can see him kicking a 40-yarder. It had the distance.
Well, we'll take a look and see how he comes out after halftime. See, I know the kickers like to come out early and kids stay warm, so
we'll definitely be looking at him, well, hopefully if he comes out, but Sterling right now still trying to find points, and it's really going to be hard to come by now. And
take a look at the rest of the schedule for Sterling. Back-to-back home games. The Gloucester Lions, new to the Colonial Conference, will visit the Castle next Halloween Eve. I believe that's a Mischief Night game. And then back-to-back away games. Paulsboro and Delran. I see that the big gap in between the games with Paulsboro and Delran. No beautiful shot at our flag tonight on a gorgeous fall evening. Sweater weather, as they call it.
Doesn't feel like it.
Been unseasonably warm here this week. Seneca kicks it off. Short kickoff. Taken on the run by David Barber. Barber has some room up the middle. Barber being chased, and a beautiful return by Barber out to nearly the 45-yard line. So let's see if Sterling can get some points on the board before the half. And this is what it's like to be a return man here. We got isolated on David Barber here. You're running in brick walls is what you're doing. You're trying to avoid them. And that's not an easy job. David Barber, not a big guy by any stretch of the imagination, 5'8", 170, but real tough.
But a nice job from the special teams from Sterling, able to get some blocks and able to get to that, almost that 45-yard line.
Thompson, quick pass, and
did he catch that?
They're going to say a catch. Diving catch by Valeriano.
Wow.
Right at midfield. What a comeback grab by Valeriano.
I was wondering if they were going to... Nope, they're going to say incomplete, but let's see this. Does he like...
Did he have full? No, they're going to say he didn't have full possession. Nonetheless, a great effort by Christian Valeriano, the junior. Thompson to Richardson this time. Richardson gains 1 out to the 45.
Again, a very I'm trying to find anything for Sterling, but see Schulz
So Schulz making his way up to the booth and greeting some of the fans, some of the regulars that hang out here in front of us. 3rd down and 9 from the 45. Thompson looking left, throwing left, just over the outstretched arm of Hassan Blackney. And that brings up 4th down. And Schulz, welcome to the booth. You missed a lot of ground and pound here from Seneca. Sterling on the first snap of the game by Seneca dropped the ball. Sterling had the ball 1st and 10 from the Seneca 30 and couldn't capitalize. They actually went backwards.
Well, Seneca, a winless team coming in here, but obviously a team that's a bigger school and plays a tougher schedule. So it doesn't really mean they're not a good team. And obviously they're showing what type of team they are right here.
High snap taken by Thompson. Thompson in trouble, and down he goes. Back to the original line of scrimmage he goes. And Seneca will take over on downs. Will Decker, one of the defensive linemen, the senior captain, takes him down to 45, and Sterling will transition from offense to defense.
Well, when you couple a high snap with the fact that Seneca had great containment on the outside, and obviously saw Becker there covering the middle, Jeremiah Thompson really had no place to go.
And really right now with the two numbers we've been saying a lot is Davis and Klink. This really has been the Davis and Klink show right now.
Davis from the shotgun, Klink to his left, and he'll get the carry right up the middle. Another pretty big hole there on 1st down outside about the 40-yard line. Tackled on the play by Jacquard Garand.
And we had a good view of that right in front of us. You can see how Seneca is really controlling the line of scrimmage up there. Good push off to that left side.
We approach the 3-minute mark of the half. Sterling already trailing by 3 scores. Draw coming to the near side for Klink. Klink, can he turn the corner? And a nice tackle as a flag comes in late. Nice tackle by Sterling. Otherwise, Klink would have turned the corner. Let's see where the penalty marker is. It's going to be legal use of hands by the Golden Eagles, so that'll back them up.
Yeah, a good job by Sterling. Just kind of, sometimes you contain and you push things in. There, you just kind of rode it out, kind of feathered things out to the outside, and didn't allow the back to get around the corner. Not until the very end of the run, a little bit, but.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd down and a long 9 for Seneca. Seneca, all 3 timeouts, 2:45 remaining here in the first half.
I don't think Seneca's going to mind that.
They're in absolutely no rush right now. Ball control and put more points on the board if you're Seneca.
Yeah, Seneca definitely looks like a team that, like you said, they just rely on ball control, ground, and pound.
Davis back to pass, looking across the middle, has a man complete. Has Matt Carlin. Matt Carlin from the distance goes the distance. 44 yards. Davis to Matt Carlin. And it is 27-0. Golden Eagles.
Well, just as I said, they're using the running game. Boy, Davis put that ball right on the money to Carlin, hit him in stride, and he just turned those shoulders, went upfield, and you could see right off the bat he was going to go in for 6.
I want to say something about Jake Handy, able to get that block. That one Sterling defender was trying to get the tackle, but Jake Handy able to help out, score that touchdown, and
the extra point up and good. And 2:13 remaining. Sterling trailing this one 28-0, Schulze.
And Davis, only a sophomore. Boy, that's a nice throw. And that's one of those effortless throws. Now, obviously, I'm just getting here a little bit late. Has he thrown that much in this game? Or has it mostly been
out in the flat, a couple screens here and there, but it's been mostly the Adam Klink show. He's been doing a lot on the ground here, but you're scoring here from 44 yards out.
Yeah, because I was kind of in and out listening on my way over here, and that's what it sounded like. It was an outstanding ground game. But boy, that was as good of a throw as we've seen, just from an effortless release, and seeing that Davis is only a sophomore. That's something that Seneca really has something to hang their hats on, and should feel really good about the future when you look at what Davis brings to the table.
Again, he's able to use his arm, but also able to use his feet. Again, I look at the stats right here, and he's probably gotten more yards now, but I believe it was 33 attempts for 114 yards with 1 touchdown. Able to get his second touchdown this year, so.
And second of the game this time in the air. That's a live ball, goes into the end zone for a touchback, but either way, Adam Clank, 2 touchdowns. Braden Davis, 1 little 2-yard scamper for a touchdown, and then shows off the arm a little bit. Actually, a lot, because that was a real nice throw. Connects with Matt Carlin from 44 yards out.
And again, we were also worried about Adam Flank early on, and again, we look right here, 61 attempts, 295 yards at the beginning of this game. That was way more. Not able to get a touchdown during the season, but now gets 2 touchdowns in this game, and he's looking for his third.
Sterling looking to put anything together offensively, which they haven't really been able to do all night. Thompson back to pass, pressured, has a man complete, and Valeriano cuts it back inside and down at the 41-yard line. Valeriano's been a great breath of fresh air here for Sterling in a season where 0-3, but he's been a highlight reel for sure.
And this is what you get from Jeremiah Thompson if he has time to set the feet and throw. And as you said, Rob, Valeriano has really become one of his favorite targets.
Richardson. No gain there for Richardson, trying to catch the Golden Eagle defense, sleeping there a little bit, expecting pass as we are 1:45 remaining here in this first half. Sterling trailing 28-0. Thompson from the shotgun, 2 wide receivers to the near side. Look at Valeriano's way. He's going to go incomplete. Intended on the play for Santino Severese.
Good coverage.
Nicely there by Jimmy Konopka.
Yeah, almost looked like he might have hit him a little bit early. Let's look at this. Oh, that was close. And that's how they kind of mix in Valeriano. Either they'll go to the outside or have that quick slant. They've had success at times with both routes.
Thompson, nice strike across the middle. He's got Blakeney. Blakeney, 1 man to beat, dragged down inside the 5.
And again, we saw early on try to go deep for that first, with a long, nice deep pass for Blakeney, and he's slow now to get up. And I was unable to get him, overreached him a bit, able to get him now, but.
What a great catch by Blakeney. And he's calling for the trainer. As soon as he went down, well, it looks like a cramp that he came up kind of limp there, but what a great pass and a better catch by Blakeney.
Just stayed in the pocket. Again, Thompson had good time, a lot of time back there, and I think the fact that there's been a lot of attention going towards Valeriano, that opened up that middle area. Good call right there, good play call with the post, and
good job by Thompson.
Found his open area right there. Good job using the hands to get to the ball. A lot of times receivers will try to cradle that in their body. I always like when I see a kid put his hands up there and catch it with his hands as opposed to getting it in on his chest.
80 seconds remaining in the half, and Sterling, thanks to the great catch by Blakeney and a better pass by Jeremiah Thompson to stay in the pocket under pressure coming from his blind side too.
No, that's what he can do if he has time. And as we've seen, Rob, throughout this season, that's been the one problem they've had, is giving him that time. But when he can set his feet and throw, he can really unleash it and put it right on the money.
And the Eagles.
Timeout Seneca. You want to get a copy of this event? Any event here featured on Channel 19? Just shoot us an email, tv19@sterling.k12.nj.us, or just give us a buzz on the screen, number on the screen there at the school, extension 4119. Talk to Mr. K. He'll set you up. He actually hand delivers these DVD copies now.
Okay. You're putting pressure on him.
Again, this is really another opportunity for Sterling to get a score here. Unable to do that after that fumble recovery, but this is their second biggest chance right now.
And what year did Seneca open? First trivia question of the night.
Ooh.
Think about that. We'll come back to it. I actually have a trivia question as well.
Yeah,
we don't have a graphic for it, but I've got a trivia question.
Around when Seneca opened, but I don't know for sure.
I have a rough guess.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Same.
Thompson first and goal from the 5. Looking to pass. Has some room in the middle, and it collapses quickly, and down he goes. Actually loses a yard there. Sterling, all 3 timeouts remaining as we tick down to the 1-minute mark of this first half. Sterling looking to get something going heading into the locker room. Thompson going to put 2 receivers far side, and they line up Savarese to the near side. Another high snap corralled by Thompson. Fakes the throw. Penalty marker thrown. Thompson being chased. Looks in the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Jakura McPherson, but clock stops at 42 seconds. And a penalty marker thrown at about the 10, and that is in the area of holding, and it is.
Yeah, usually when those plays go a little bit longer, you see the quarterback running around for a little bit back there. That's usually what it's going to be. You see the pump fake, but the more time he buys, the more likely a receiver is going to be open, throw it a little bit high, but obviously it's all for naught with the penalty.
So even if McPherson had caught that, it was coming back either way, and that erases what Blakeney had, the catch that he had. Now you're looking at second and goal from the 19 instead of second and goal from about the 5.
Well, that's what penalties can do to you. And here we look at our trivia question. You going to take a guess, Rob?
I'm gonna say 2006.
I think it was before that. I think
we've been there. I've been there a couple times. And the school is good. The campus is gorgeous.
That's what I heard.
Absolutely gorgeous
I haven't
campus.
Been there. Okay, I'm going to say 1998.
John?
I'm going to say 1985.
I say I was relatively close. 2003. That campus, as soon as you drive onto that campus, they have almost like a gate, and you can see with the map where it is. You're going directly east of here. Beautiful campus.
That's what I hear.
Absolutely beautiful. And I know Mr. K, I think he's been there for a couple baseball games, and we've done. Did we do a soccer game? I believe we did there. Was it last year, the overtime game?
I don't remember. I don't know if I went to that.
No, that wasn't.
I don't remember. I don't think I've been to Seneca.
Oh, Cedar Creek. That's a school I'm thinking of.
That school is almost as old as me. Actually, no, the same age as me.
Pass incomplete, intended for Santino Savarese. Fun fact about Seneca: the Sterling girls tennis team drew Seneca in the first round of the playoffs. Will travel to the Golden Eagles on Monday at 2 o'clock. So good luck to the girls tennis team. Sterling, the number 6 seed in that tournament.
Oh, really? Nice. Strauss very happy with that.
I'm very happy with that. Thompson back to pass, looking end zone, incomplete. Blakeney coming up, and he needs some attention again. He looked like he's got he's got his helmet off, and he is in some discomfort on the near sideline. See him come up limp right there.
Yeah, he starts galloping, and you kind of know it's likely a cramp, but it's going to be pretty difficult.
It's in the area of a cramp, I believe, but 32 seconds remaining. It'll be a 4th and goal from the 19.
Again, Sterling definitely needs this really needs this touchdown, almost desperately.
Well, just from a standpoint of confidence, because, John, they were able to move the ball down to this point as we look at our schedule here moving forward. The first time Sterling is going to play Gloucester High School in football. Everybody's excited throughout the conference to have Gloucester in here.
Yep.
And
I think you guys have a history with Gloucester.
we do. Mr. K and I started there in 1992. Mr. K ran the sports video company that did all the Gloucester games from 1992 until, I'm going to guess, Mr. K, was it till like 2003, 2004, 03 till 03, and a program that's got a lot of history, a lot of enthusiasm in the town. They get a lot of people out for the games, or at least I know they used to. It was one of those things where town kind of stopped when there was football. But it's just great to have them on board in the Colonial Conference. And I know, again, they're excited to be here.
4th and goal after the injury timeout. Thompson back to pass, looking end zone, and it is caught in the end zone. Coming back and making the catch from 19 yards out, Christian Valeriano. Sterling on the board.
Well, that's a case where Valeriano in the right corner of that end zone was in a battle with the defender and just kind of adjusted, went up after the ball. Let's see right here. Kind of saw him at the end of the play. You see right here him going over there and just kind of came back to the ball. That's what your good receivers will do. They won't just sit there and wait for the ball to come to them. They'll take a step towards it.
And right now you see right here, Sterling has an injury, and I'm trying to figure out who it might be. But it can't quite see the numbers.
Here's the replay.
And I'm still unable to, but I think it might be just a cramp, luckily, but let's hope it is. You see Sean Klink working on him.
And that's a case of Thompson having a lot of confidence in Valeriano, because you could see right there the defender was right on him, but he knew it was a one-on-one situation, and he just said, hey, I'm going to throw it up there, and I have confidence that you're going to be able to get it. And Valeriano did just that. Again, impressive with the way he was able to come back towards the ball. As we look at it's Nasir Honey who's down for Sterling. Honey, I believe, that offensive tackle.
What a great job by Valeriano to the presence of mind to come back for the ball. And they've had a good connection all year long.
I was just going to say that.
Despite what the record shows at 0-3.
Oh, wait, no, that was my bad. That's actually not. It was 78. I don't know. I don't have them. Or 75. But don't have them in our...
Saying Shaheem Reddick. So Sterling going to go for 2 here. And a timeout. You could hear it before the snap. Timeout Sterling on the 2-point attempt.
And John, you talked about how big it was for Sterling, and we're not even talking yet about coming back, but just from a confidence standpoint, you move the ball down the field, and that's one part of getting confident, getting first downs, but the other part is finishing things off. So it was a good thing to see these guys do that, and a good thing to see Thompson again connecting with Valeriano.
Don't forget to take a listen to Sterling Knights Radio, latest news, sporting events, best music from 60s to today. If you're in school, in the district, take a listen. Follow us on Twitter at Knights Radio. Lots of great stuff going to be happening. Toy Drive, believe it or not, guys, right around the corner. a little less than 2 months away from that great event, and we're going to get that. Got to figure out how we're going to do that in this environment, but we'll be out there collecting toys on the December 18th. So we don't know in what capacity and what kind of students we're going to have involved, but we're going to try and get the community involved again. And we had such a great turnout last year from a lot of the sending schools, and it was really great to see. So stay tuned to Knights Radio for the latest updates on that. Some updates coming out shortly.
And kudos to you and the kids for doing that. Boy, it's amazing what that's grown into, and you guys deserve a ton of credit.
Thank you. Over 1,500 toys we raised last year, going out to local
that a
families,
record?
and we've never had a year where it hasn't grown. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be on December 18th. That's a Friday, right here at Sterling. So 2-point conversion on the way, and it's good. So Richardson scampers in from 2 yards out and gives Sterling 8 points. And they trail this one by 20.
Well, you saw the passing game, and then you see them finish it off with Jameer Richardson, a kid who they've had success with, especially last week at times, running him up the middle.
Like I said earlier on, you should really be using Richardson almost in the later stage of the game. Defenses get tired, and you really don't want to face someone like his size and able to break away, and he also has speed to that. He has speed to that table too. So if he breaks away with a tackle, his green field all ahead of him, you can almost guarantee he will get to the end zone.
And he's doing a good job, getting even better this year at taking on contact. As you saw him at the end of that run, he was almost in the end zone. But last week took on contact, was good at getting low, lowering those shoulders as opposed to, I think maybe at times last year running a little bit high. And when he gets low with the strength that he has in his legs, it's very difficult to bring down.
And what you can't do here is you can't give up a big return.
No.
Got a little bit of momentum here potentially going into the half with 25 seconds remaining. You're going to have all hands on deck here as you look at Christian Valeriano having a great season here for Sterling, only a junior. You can definitely tell him who he is walking around the halls. He's a tall glass of water.
Yep. Mr. K said also a pitcher in the spring.
Kickoff, high end over end. Taking it about the 22-yard line. And Thorpe is still battling away here as the clock ticks down to 17.1 seconds remaining.
And it's going to be really interesting what Seneca does. Will they try to go for it? They have 2 timeouts remaining, 17 seconds. Almost like 17 seconds is almost like another eternity for a team. They are able to go into the middle of the field, call a timeout real quick, find out another play, They can try different stuff, but I don't think they're going to do it.
They're going to go into I think they're content with a 28-8 lead on the road. And backed up into your own territory, they are just going to sit on this one. I think. And they do. So Sterling gets on the board late thanks to a 19-yard touchdown pass from Jeremiah Thompson to Christian Valeriano. 2-point conversion good. However, they still trail this one by 3 scores. We'll get off to a quick break down the first half. Get ready for the second half. It's 28-8. You're watching live coverage of Sterling football right here on Channel 19. We're back right after this.
Red Ribbon Week starts Monday, October 26th through October 30th. Please support SAD by wearing themed dress to promote healthy and positive decisions. Monday, October 26th is Red Ribbon Rally. Wear your red. Tuesday, the 27th, Drugs are old school. Wear your favorite 80s and 90s gear. Wednesday, the 28th, Fight Drugs head to toe from home. Wear your favorite hat, socks, and shoes. On Thursday the 29th, Not a Fan of Drugs. Wear your Sterling Spirit fan gear. And on Friday, 10:30, Wake Up Call to Dangers of Drugs. Wear your favorite PJs.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, how was the game?
It was great. We won.
I'm sorry I missed it.
It's okay. You can check out all the highlights on Sterling TV 19's YouTube channel.
Oh, wow, really? All right, I'll check it out then.
Bye.
Please direct your attention to the field as the Sterling High School Band performs their halftime show.
(28-8) Seneca over Sterling here at the half. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, John Hallwood here with you on the coverage. And it's been all Seneca. Sterling got a late touchdown at the end of that first half, but Schulze, it's really been all Seneca. I know you weren't here for most of it, but it was a lot of running plays. Big plays have really killed Sterling this year. They ripped off a 39-yard touchdown run as well as a 44-yard touchdown pass and really opened this game up.
Yeah, it just was a first half where clearly, and it shows by the score and everything you had said, that Seneca was a better team. But again, from a confidence standpoint, it was good to see Sterling do what they were able to do in driving down the field and finish it off with a score. And we're joined by Stephon Johnson here, coming on board. Thanks for coming on, pal.
No problem, anytime.
For the second half, giving us your thoughts on what has been going on here. So what did you see in that first half?
I just saw Seneca being real dominant at the offensive line, and their point of attack, they just seem like they wanted more than Sterling right now.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because that was one thing I noticed when we looked at, I got here late, but the first set of downs that I was here for were right in front of us, and you could see a push, kind of to what you're saying, on the offensive line, and you could clearly see the dominance up there.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about how big that score is at the end of the half in terms of momentum coming out. Sterling's going to get the ball here, and that's huge. I mean,
that is a huge momentum. But now, and if I was them, I would feel like we still have a chance to win this game.
And Jeremiah Thompson, obviously there were times in this. Were you impressed with what you were able to see from him when he was able to set his feet and throw?
Yeah, I was, considering that, the amount of hits he took this season.
Yeah.
He's just playing great right now. He's trying his best to capitalize off of what they're doing.
And obviously last year he had a great connection with Mike Estramera, but it looks like he's establishing a rapport and a connection with Christian Valeriano also.
Yeah, those two, they're going to be a problem to mess with next season.
Good point. They're both juniors. Yeah. Yep.
So Sterling will receive the second half kickoff. And really, I mean, the connection that Jeremiah Thompson has with Christian Valeriano, we've seen since game one here, since the opener here about a month ago. And, that's something that is electric, but Sterling's really got to get that run game going to kind of supplement the pass and give Valeriano that extra look. We saw Sterling trying to go to Savarese a couple times to open things up, but that run game really has to get going.
Yeah, that's where we're talking about getting Jameer Richardson involved.
Taken at the 14-yard line. Here comes Sterling, and down at the 30-yard line. Good coverage by the Golden Eagles on the return. And I believe it looks like that's Xavier Miller, the freshman, on the return. And Sterling going to get a half-decent field position here at their own 30-yard line to start their first possession of the second half.
And Rob, it's funny you say that, because field position has been the one thing throughout this entire early part of the season, or the first half of the season, that Sterling has really not had. They've really played a lot of their season deep in their own end of the field.
Just got to put a couple plays together, get a little bit of momentum, and then take it from there. Thompson's throwing a nice ball, though.
Yep.
From the shotgun, two receivers to the far side, to the near side, rather. Thompson right across the middle. Valeriano connects inside Golden Eagle territory down at about the 43. What a great throw and catch.
And a great play design because you had the whole defense thinking there was a read option and everything was swaying off to this right side, off to this right side. Thompson sets the feet, throws a strike to Valeriano, who he knew on that opposite side was in one-on-one coverage.
That was a beautiful throw. Just beautiful.
On a rope, too. What a great throw.
And a quick release. You know, that's a ball where it had to get out there in a hurry, and he really put it there.
Richardson on the carry. Out to the 40. Gain of about 3. Some tough sledding there for Richardson, but he can take. He's a big kid. We talked about him a lot last season, Schulze, and you know the kind of the tough fullback role he plays.
And if you get things going with Richardson, that's where you end up getting in third and manageable situations. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4.
What would be great is if we can get him ripping off instead of 2 or 3 yards at a chunk, 6 or 7 at a chunk. And then you've got 2nd and short, and it's going to be keeper for Thompson. Gets out to the 40, no gain there.
And Stefan, talk about, you look here, the read option, the different assignments up front from a defensive standpoint on what they have to do to stop this.
Well, it's pretty much, you just have to use your eyes and your hands and feel where the offensive lineman is going and just follow him down the line. So theoretically, the defensive end should be the responsibility is the quarterback and the defensive tackle responsibility is the running back.
Got you.
3rd down and 8 for Sterling. On the move here on their first possession of the second half. Thompson, plenty of time, going deep and just over the head of Valeriano. Just led him a little too far. Penalty marker thrown in the backfield. And it's going to be a hold against Sterling. And I would assume that Seneca would decline this, or are they going to push Sterling backwards? This is an interesting call here for Seneca.
I think they're going to push them back, and boy, that's a shame because Valeriano had a step on the defender. Just threw it a little bit too long.
So the ball goes back inside Sterling territory at the 45, so it's going to be a 3rd and 22. Rodriguez coming to the near side. You can hear the coaches yelling that Rodriguez was on the wrong side. Now he adjusts his position on the field, and here he comes. Thompson looking for Valeriano. Incomplete. Bump there. No penalty. Oh, no, they do throw a penalty marker. On the coverage was Konopka. And he bumped Valeriano. And the penalty marker thrown at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, he just got clipped, Valeriano, as he was going up, straight up for the ball. You see right here. Boy, I'll tell you what. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he made contact. I think from the referee's standpoint, from behind, it looked like it. But that camera angle looked like he didn't make contact. Let's see it again. You know what it was? Probably, yeah, it looked like he got him with the body. I think that's what the ref saw right there. Didn't necessarily hit him up high, but it looked like the midsections bumped, and we'll see it again right here. And you see going up, and ooh, I don't know. But again, I think if you had a bad angle, that it would have looked like they had contact. But either way, Sterling will take it.
3rd and a long 7 for Sterling. Does not give him a first down, but a little bit more manageable situation here for Sterling from the Seneca 40. Thompson from the shotgun with Richardson to his left. Will delay. Some confusion. Richardson finally comes up with the ball, gets out to about the 35 before he's pushed backwards. Some indecision there, and Sterling able to pick up some positive yardage, luckily for them.
And I almost think the Seneca defense just thought the play was blown dead the way everybody just kind of was standing up. And you kind of lulled them to sleep a little bit, and Richardson goes off to that left side and gets fairly close to the first down, a couple yards short.
Good first series here for Sterling.
And at this
They're
point,
moving the ball.
Yeah, the biggest offensive play right now this game, because if you keep things going, you've got an opportunity to at least cut this lead in half.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, those 6 or 7 yard chunk plays made at Jameer Richardson, that was a good one right there.
4th and a long 2 under 9 to play. Low snap taken by Thompson. Thompson pumps, going to keep it himself, has a first down, slides across the 30 down to the 28. Sterling on the move, and easily one of their best offensive possessions we've seen in a couple weeks.
And the other thing that's going to do is we look at Jeremiah Thompson right here, who, again, we talked about how much better he's improved, how much he's improved as a runner. But, guys, the other thing this does is this keeps this high-powered Seneca offense off the field and doesn't allow them to get into a rhythm. So Sterling right now playing with a lot of confidence here.
How about it, just a smart play by Jeremiah Thompson to keep it. Notice that he didn't want to force anything on a 4th down and kept it himself as penalty markers are thrown here. But, again, getting back to that, just a smart play by a veteran quarterback.
A quick first step, in going field, and quick decision-making, too. And I think that's probably the biggest part of what he was able to do.
You get Thompson going, and then you get Richardson going, and then that's going to open up things down the field a little bit later on for Valeriano and others.
All the run would set up the deep pass downfield.
And that's where you can pull off some play action passes too.
1st and 5 from the 24. Again, a low snap. Thompson going to keep it himself. And not get much, maybe a yard.
Short game brings up 7 down and 4.
Thompson really nowhere to go here.
No. But again, him picking that up and realizing that was the situation, made the quick decision just to tuck it in and get upfield as opposed to waiting, put himself in a situation where he could take a loss.
Rodriguez lines up in the slot on 2nd down and 4. Thompson back to pass, incomplete, looking for Valeriano. All right, check that, Rodriguez.
3rd down.
Dak Morrell there on the coverage for Seneca.
That's one of those ones where the ball's coming out before the cut's made. It's that timing route you see to the outside.
And how much, Schulze, does the lack of a true preseason
have
to deal with that?
These are the types of plays where, you run them over and over again. And the timing, I think, after a while, and Stefan, you can back this up, becomes second nature if you have that long preseason. But obviously this year you didn't.
Thompson back to pass, going near side, in the end zone, touchdown, Valeriano walks into the end zone, a 23-yard strike, no flags on the field. Sterling still in it, 28-14.
Well, we said the play action pass would open things up. Didn't think it would open things up this much. This is obviously a blown assignment, but again, it goes a long way in showing what can happen if you mix in the running game with the passing game. They kind of sucked in and went for Jeremiah Richardson, and obviously Valeriano was open by about 10 yards.
Blown coverage by Seneca. Sterling takes advantage in a really, really impressive drive coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, and the other part of this is, will Sterling be able to stop that Seneca offense that really showed us a lot in that first half?
2-point conversion on now for Sterling. Richardson to Thompson's left. Looking across the middle, complete to Valeriano for 2. And it's a 28-16 game. Don't go anywhere. It's a one-possession game.
You could, I guess you have to think that the touchdown was a blown coverage, but after that, especially with how many times he's gone to Valeriano and the success they've had, again, well, there you see the touchdown, but again on the two-pointer, still was, I mean, he was covered, but boy, you had to almost anticipate that was going to be where the ball was going to go.
I said a one-possession game. My math is wrong. Shocking. It's a 12-point game, the oft-overlooked 12-point lead.
But there's the two-pointer right here. Again, the defender a little late to get over there, but boy, you almost want to bump Valeriano at the line and not give him, you know, a free area just to go right across the middle.
So that connection from Thompson to Christian, something special.
Yep. Well, now here's the interesting part, and it's going to be very interesting to see if Sterling carries the offensive momentum over to the other side of the ball here.
Kickoff taken. Beautiful kickoff. Going about the 20-yard line. That's about as far as Seneca will go. And they'll start over with their first offensive possession at about the 25-yard line, under 7 to play in the first. But how big was that score? That'll be on YouTube.
It'll be on YouTube, right? With all the highlights, as Mr. K has them, and anybody out there can watch Sterling TV 19 on YouTube anywhere, and that's www.youtube.com/Sterling TV 19.
Big defensive possession now for Sterling. They can get a stop here, maybe force a turnover, and really make this a game. I mean, the first probably 20 minutes of this game was all Seneca, and you think that this was going to be a blowout city, but Sterling, credit to Coach Harris, you know, hanging on here.
And kind of got a break there with the
Clank, a rare miscue by Clank there. Watch out for that.
Yeah.
That 22-yard line is really, really tricky.
Got tripped up by his own.
We saw that last night in the Giants game.
Oh, yeah.
Second down and 10. And Sterling defense.
Wow.
Playing strong right now, and it brings up a 3rd and long.
Almost a huge break here with the fumble. Boy, would that have been a big break.
If this were a basketball game, I think Seneca would be taking a timeout right now, because this is not the same team that came out and just completely rolled over Sterling in the first quarter and a half.
And sometimes, you know, that happens. You get up 28-0. You just sit back. You just become a little more lax. And, you know, Sterling's done a lot of great things on the offensive side of the ball, but I think, you know, being a little bit lax is what we're looking at here, I think, with the way this offense is failing to execute in this first drive of the second half.
Davis looking across middle. Beautiful pass, wide open to Thorpe. Thorpe being dragged down inside Sterling territory, down to the 40, but a beautiful strike to George Thorpe, the senior.
Now, we saw Davis on the previous pass play when he threw it for a touchdown, put a lot on it. Here he just kind of lofted it up here and gave his receiver the ability to adjust and go up for it. And obviously he was able to gain separation from Christian Valeriano on the outside.
Well, Seneca had their blown coverage, and that looks like a blown coverage by Sterling there, because Thorpe was wide open. Not to take anything away from the throw by Braden Davis. Davis now from the shotgun. Hands off to Clank. And he scampers down inside the 30, about the 37-yard line, we'll call it.
You see Clank here go right up the middle.
Not to be confused with our trainer, Sean Clank.
Not at all.
2 Clanks on the field tonight. There he is again, right on cue. Gets the first down across the 30, down to about the 28. Clank has been a workhorse. 2 touchdowns on the night for Clank, and he is hurt. Got a 5-yard touchdown run in the first to open the scoring, and then a 39-yard touchdown run on the option
And that last play, that was a play where there's a little bit of delay, gives them time to read what's happening in front of them and seeing the hole open up. And boy, once he saw that open, he really accelerated, and just a real nice job getting upfield.
Both teams full supplements of timeouts. And take a look at brand new to Sterling, the Knights overtime. Going to be bringing you some more daily coverage and did you knows and trivias and interviews with coaches and players, all sorts of stuff. Brand new to the sports broadcasting class this year. Team of about 17 students doing a great job getting the on-field interviews with the coaches, the players, behind-the-scenes stuff. So follow at Knights Overtime on Twitter. First and 10 for Seneca. Different look now. They're going to give the ball to Thorpe. Thorpe cuts it back inside. Thorpe, plenty of room, cuts back inside again, makes another nice move, and he is going to walk into the end zone for the touchdown. Couple of great moves by George Thorpe as he scampers in from 29 yards out, and Seneca answers right back.
Well, Strong had great penetration in the initial part of that run, had opportunities where they missed tackles, probably a couple missed tackles, maybe 3 missed tackles right there. And obviously, that's something you didn't need, especially when you took over the momentum. But teams that struggle, Stefan, they're the types of mistakes they make.
I know. Those mistakes are critical to this game right now. They need to...
Now we have a situation, it's a trouble here for Seneca, and going down is Jake Handy. It was a botched snap. Extra point, no good. So with 4:09 remaining, 34-16.
Boy, what a great cut right there. A couple nice cuts right there going to the right side. Thorpe, a senior, number 3. That's a highlight run right there for that young man. You see him go left side, and great penetration. Was going, actually, Stefan was going backwards for a little bit, but recovered and got upfield.
Said those mistakes, missing tackles, blown assignments, it's costing Sterling right now.
Talk about how important it is for Sterling just to kind of put that in the rearview mirror and get back into what they've been doing on the offensive side.
Yeah, you can't keep looking back on plays. You can't keep looking back on what if I did this different. You have to just keep going forward and play the game, because there's so much of the game left. You never know. They still could come back and win this.
And especially with what Sterling's able to do. I mean, they can put the ball in the air, have the capabilities with what we've seen from Thompson to Christian Valeriano of coming up with some big plays.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the moves right here. This is like, whoop, and there's just a cut right there. Kickoff taken at the 13 by Sterling, and swallowed up around the 26 by Xavier Miller.
We had one of our loyal watchers, Lenoletto, making a guess that was the closest of all, 2004 to the first year that Seneca opened.
I was thinking about this at halftime. I completely thrown off. I was thinking Cedar Creek, not Seneca, because we've been to Cedar Creek a couple times for soccer, tennis, baseball as well in the past. And I know Cedar Creek's come here a couple times.
Can we do an on-the-fly trivia? Ask what year did Cedar Creek open up?
We could. I'm
holding my phone, but Stefan will vouch for the fact that I'm not looking anything up.
Cedar Creek's relatively new.
I'm thinking of the guess in my head.
I'm going to go 2009. But we do have a new trivia question. Okay. We'll get back to Cedar. What were the 2 schools that Seneca pulled from?
Can I answer it right now? Okay.
Let's let it soak for a little.
Marinate.
Marinate, as I like to say. I have an idea.
Yeah. I think
I think
know.
I've got it. I think I've got it. I'm actually writing this down. Okay, I just wrote it down. Thompson back to pass. Looking, and he has Valeriano again! Valeriano with nothing but daylight in front of him. And he goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Sterling, 74 yards.
Well, guys, we talked about it, Stefan. That is why, with a little over 3 minutes left in this third quarter, Sterling's not out of the game. You see the big play potential right there.
Talking about they put that defensive drive behind them, and they just went out and showed Seneca what they could do on offense. They're looking high powered. They're looking good right now.
And I continue to be kind of amazed and shocked that Valeriano's getting so wide open, and I didn't see the very beginning of that route. I don't know if there was a pump fake involved and they went for something, but boy, if there's one guy on the field you don't want to allow to get behind, you want to keep him in front of you, it's Christian Valeriano, and they just haven't been able to do that.
I mean, he has, the ball was probably throwing him like the last 4 passes. That's all went to Christian.
Going for the 2-point conversion. Yet again, 2-point conversion is going to be good. Somehow getting into the end zone. And it's 34-24. Don't go anywhere yet. Take another look at the touchdown.
Looking at Valeriano the whole time, you knew he was going there, and Thompson just waited for the play to develop and threw a strike out there to the outside. Valeriano also showing some speed and getting up that far sideline.
That's a wonderful quarterback receiver duo right there. Can't stress that enough.
And the other thing, Stefan, talk about how that can go a long way in loosening things up for the running game. You have a safety that might be normally a run stopper coming up. He's got to address what Valeriano's doing on the outside.
Because now that Valeriano has been a lot of deep catches, all the attention's on him, you would want to run the ball more so you could set him up for another big play.
And we even saw in the previous score, they did that with the handoff and doing play action to Jameer Richardson, and it enabled Valeriano. And again, that was probably a true blown coverage right there, being that open, but it just tells you how mixing it up can really help.
Konopka on the return for the Golden Eagles. Still on his feet, hurdles the man, and he's still going down the far sideline, cuts it back inside. Konopka inside Sterling territory at the 45.
And this is what you can't have happen.
That's Jake Handy, excuse me.
After taking over the momentum, to give an offense like Seneca field position past midfield to start is just something that you just can't have happen.
So Thompson and Valeriano hook up for the hat trick. Pass TD, receiving TD. Any chance I can get into sneak in a hockey reference, I will do that. Shout out to the great Mike Doc Emmerich on a phenomenal broadcasting career. Finally retired at the age of 74, doing all those NBC hockey games. Just what
I didn't realize he was that old.
47-year career. Definitely one of my broadcasting idols. Just the stuff that he's called. That guy could call a chess match, and I would listen to it.
Wow. Strong's saying they have it, but it's going to get blown dead. I'd like to see this one again. Mr. K is going to slow it down for us.
Down in front. Are they going to say forward progress stopped? No.
I think the knee was down. Yeah. But a good job all the same. I mean, right now, hey, if you really haven't had any answer for stopping the running game, why not, if you're the second man in, go for the ball?
That is a great strategy. Get Sterling back on offense.
2 minutes remaining here in the third, and it's suddenly what's once a 28-8 game. The lead has been cut in half. Davis rolling out, has a man complete, stiff arms a man inside, and off he goes again. Couple miss hackles, flag thrown, Clank walks in the end zone for the touchdown, but let's take a look at the flag. If it stands, it's a 35-yard touchdown, but it is not.
Yeah.
Good thing for Sterling, because that would have been Clank's third touchdown of the game.
Well, they were fortunate that you had the hold and it's going to get called back, but the last two big plays for Seneca, Sterling had opportunities. You see right here, a couple different opportunities, a couple missed tackles. And if you miss tackles against backs like the ones that you see from Seneca, they're going to make you pay.
They will. And now the Sterling defense has to capitalize off the opportunity they have right now.
Yeah, this is a break. The penalty's definitely giving them a break.
Good stiff arm there by Clank. You see the holding calls a lot on those screens. You're trying to set up the space and create that space.
Yep.
So after the penalty, 1st and 15. Davis keeps it himself and goes nowhere. Sterling defense holds true. 2nd and long coming up.
And a good job with the initial contact, hitting and wrapping. Mm-hmm. You see it right here.
That's like we were saying earlier. The defensive end responsibility is the quarterback, and he made sure that was his job.
Yep. And that read option, so much about responsibilities when you're trying to defend it.
Completely different team. All of a sudden, Schul shows up and Sterling starts playing better. Davis, back to pass. They set up the screen again, this time to Clank, and he goes down right at the same spot where they snapped it. Great job by Rashawn McQueen on the coverage.
Well, that's based on McQueen right there doing a good job reading screen and reacting. If you're a split second too late, you don't put yourself in position to make this play, but just a great job by McQueen on the outside, reading it.
And watch McQueen on this replay again. The coverage, he had pursuit on the quarterback, realized it was screen, turned around, and went and was right in on the tackle. Good pursuit by Rashawn McQueen. 3rd and long. Davis, option, Clank, not so much. Sterling has Seneca on the ropes right now, and the momentum has clearly shifted.
Well, the first play of these 3 series was all about team defense and just closing everything in, containment and good backside pressure. And you saw this on the 3rd play right here. Just outstanding team defense from Sterling, getting to the outside, hitting initially and wrapping, something they haven't done on some of the bigger plays.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter. It's a 10-point game. We'll be back with it, which should be a very interesting 4th quarter. You're watching live coverage of Sterling football on Channel 19. We're back right after this. First play of what will be a very interesting final frame here as Seneca on to punt, something we can't say that they've done a lot of today. Good punt, and Sterling going to walk away from it, and it's going to bounce inside the 20. And that's where Sterling will take over for their first possession of this final quarter, trailing by 10. And Schulze, we got a trivia question. Hold on. We'll go back to this one. The two schools that Seneca pulled from. Schulze, go.
I'll say Lenape and Shawnee.
That's what I put. Let's see if we're...
Is that your guess, Stefan?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know.
Lenape and Shawnee. There we go.
That was fair. I thought a fairly easy one.
That was
Mr. K's taking it easy on us. The next one's going to be brutal. I think it's going to be an impossible one. No, he's got more. He's going to...
Listen, I've got one in the chamber, too, I'm excited about.
Lull us into a false sense of confidence and just hammer us with the next one.
Penalty marker thrown late as Miller gets the carry. The next trivia question for Mr. K, as you see the hold there, will be, what is the distance in millimeters from Sterling to Seneca? Some crazy stat.
As long as you get it within 5 millimeters.
Right, I mean, it's a plus or minus, you know. Come on now. I actually have, I don't want to give away most of my trivia. I actually spent time looking this up because I was going to put it on Sterling overtime. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to save it for the broadcast and see if I can stump. I want to stump Mr. K. That's my goal. And this is right in your both of your wheelhouses too.
Okay.
First and 10. Or excuse me, first and 20 now after the penalty. Nice stiff arm by, that's a great stiff arm by Jameer Richardson to gain some extra yardage here. And Seneca on their heels, guys.
Well, a great play call with all the attention being paid to Valeriano downfield. You put Richardson down here, and he's wide open to the outside. You know, we've only seen Richardson run the ball up the middle, so I think...
Get off me.
Yeah, great stiff arm. Seneca was just a little bit caught off guard with that throw to the outside of Richardson.
Richardson picks up 15, so the good chunk of the yardage is gone. Pass complete to Rodriguez. Rodriguez tries to turn a corner and does. Picks up the first down. Let's see where they push him out of bounds at around the 35, just shy of the 35, but nonetheless, Sterling will get a first down.
Well, what Sterling's doing right now is forcing Seneca to cover the entire field and utilize different weapons, and they just really don't have any answers for this Sterling offense.
Right now, Seneca's just focused on shutting down Christian. And they're not worried about nobody else right now.
It's a shame Sterling got off to put themselves in a 28-0 hole early. Otherwise, I mean, it's a 10-point game. Anything can happen at this point.
And then you come back with Thompson on the read option up the middle. So, you know, we've seen runs with Richardson and Thompson up the middle. We've seen, look at the hole right here. You see them addressing everything on the outside. And, again, you're looking at a spread-out defense right there. And that was an easy read for Thompson.
And this is something we haven't seen a lot of this season is offensive time for Jeremiah Thompson. And now that he's got time to create. He can run, he can pass, obviously. Second down and 5. Penalty marker thrown, and it's deflected. Looking for Yoel Rodriguez, deflected by Zach Worrell. A false start on our illegal procedure on Sterling.
Sterling again trying to get the ball at the flat, and this is one thing you've got to watch. If somebody jumps the route, as you look at this defensive back, almost due right here. Stefan, they were kind of lucky that ball was thrown high.
I know. If it was an accurate ball, I feel like the defense would have intercepted it.
I agree with that.
They would have took it all the way for 6. There's green grass in front of them.
Yep.
Second down and 10. Thompson going to check with Hassan Blakely. Thompson, plenty of time. Back to pass now being pressured. Penalty marker thrown as sacked in the backfield. Matt Carlin in there as well. as I believe that's Dylan Griffin.
And I think if you're Seneca, they're looking right now for something to give them a spark, and the defensive line in this series of downs has done that.
That sack is a real momentum booster.
Yeah, they just really got in there and kind of went back to what they were doing in earlier parts of this game.
21 points scored in 4 minutes in that third quarter. As pass incomplete. Looking for Valeriano at about the 40, diving attempt, no good. But, 10 points not insurmountable here with 9.5 minutes left to go. The way that these two teams were trading blows here earlier in the third quarter.
But what the defense for Seneca did in stopping Sterling is going to really translate and giving the offense great field position, probably at least around midfield, barring a spectacular punt.
.9:33 remaining in the fourth. Punt on the way. Back to receive is Handy. Handy spun down. Sterling, good special teams coverage. Give Seneca relatively good field position at the 43, but good coverage downfield.
Yeah, great individual effort.
Another trivia question. What happened in Tabernacle Township on July 13th, 1928?
You knew he was going to come at us. It was... Okay.
1928. I have... No, I don't. Tabernacle Township? That's a good one. Let's see, I was 10 years old, so what happened in...
It was split between Tabernacle and Chemung. I don't know.
The band getting into it. One of the great traditions that has started here at Sterling is the interaction between the band, the cheerleaders, and the players, and the fans really getting into it. They're having a great time down there. Back to the trivia question. Schulze, what do you got?
I'm going to say it was split between Tabernacle and Chemung.
I'm going to say... I honestly have absolutely... The birth of the Jersey Devil. I have no idea. I have no clue. Let's see what the answer is. The Lindbergh of Mexico plane crashed. Emilio Carranza trying to fly.
If either one of us got that, there would be an investigation.
Apparently the memorial is on the left, and they celebrate that in July. See, he gave us the layup. You were right. He gave us the layup, and then he smacks us in the teeth with this one.
Clobbered us. I've been by there a lot, but haven't lived there.
Listen, being from Toms River, you drive through that Tabernacle, Pemberton area, and it's...
What's the name of the general store down there?
Oh, God. Now we're getting... Clank on the run again, and a touchdown-saving tackle, potentially. Right in the middle there by Sterling, and right across midfield.
And Seneca really did a good job going to what's worked for them, especially in light of Sterling on the defensive side of the ball, gaining penetration, having plays that allow Sterling time-wise to get in the backfield and gain penetration, and they just went right at the gut. And that goes back to what we were talking about, Stefan, the dominance you're seeing up front, and that's their bread and butter, and they just went right behind it.
Yeah, the offensive line is just, they're winning the battle up front right now. So Seneca's just going to keep running the ball.
Second down and a short one. Well, option again, they're going to go to Clank. Clank being pursued, turns the corner, gets the first down, and steps out of bounds at about the 45, but he picks up 4 to first down.
Yeah, and this was a play, it's kind of strange. Initially, on that series downs, you go right up the gut. And they got the first down, so you can't say it was bad play, but I think that type of play gives Sterling a shot in getting to the outside, gaining penetration, but they just weren't able to get out there quick enough.
Clock stopped, 8:29 remaining here in the fourth. And what was a jam-packed, action-packed third quarter has gone back to what we saw towards the end of the second quarter. Davis hands off to Clank. Clank off that left side. Still moving his feet. Has a first down and more. Going to the far sideline as Clank dives forward and inside the red zone for another Golden Eagle first down.
And here's two of the things I saw from Clank here on display is the ability to read and find out where the hole is and then adjust, go to the outside, and then, Stefan, running backs who have a lot of success break tackles, but more importantly, they keep the legs moving.
Yeah, you could tell that he just wanted this more than everyone else on the field.
Yeah.
The way he just kept his legs going and his balance.
Tackled by Xavier Miller, the freshman. 1st and 10 from just inside the red zone. Keeping himself is Davis. Davis tries to get the near side corner, steps out of bounds around the 10. Clock will stop, 7:45 remaining, and this is a must stop here for Sterling.
No doubt about it. Like you said, with the time remaining, and boy, Seneca really got a lot of big bodies out there, pulled the 2 guards it looked like, and really cut off any flow of any linebackers and allow any safety to come up as a run stopper.
Second down and 1. Didn't pick up the first down, did Davis, but has to get to about the 8 for a first down. Ball placed at the 10. And if you're Sterling defensively, you're trying to rip that ball out at this point and just get anything, because you can't afford to have Seneca put any more points on the board at this point.
Yeah. Now, this is, especially with already having a 10-point lead.
Clank with the carry, and he is stacked up. Defensive stand number 1. They need a couple more. It'll be 3rd down and about 4.
And you see Rashad McQueen getting in there. Great penetration.
That's him. He's just reading and reacting. That's all you got to do is defensive end.
And you see that replay. Just great penetration and gang tackling.
Clock continues to tick down towards the 7-minute mark. It'll be a 3rd down, and we'll call it 5. Seneca taking their time, as they should at this point, with a 10-point lead. Although we saw the Eagles erase a 10-point deficit last night.
That's right.
Crazy game that was. And now a timeout. Timeout Seneca, 6:43. Time for my trivia question.
Okay.
Seneca is known for their sports, obviously. They have some really good sports teams. They had a Major League Baseball player come out of Seneca High School. Name that player.
It's not Doolittle.
It is not Doolittle. I'll give you the year. 2011 was drafted in the 1st round, 57th overall by the Toronto Blue Jays.
Wow, and he was drafted out of college, correct?
Went to
Seneca, but went to college and was drafted in the 1st round.
I believe he was drafted right out of high school.
Really? Okay.
I could be wrong with this, but
yeah, that's why
played for the Tigers in their organization.
Talking like a hockey guy.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'll tell you flat out, I don't know this one.
And Mr. K doesn't know.
K doesn't know.
Kevin Comer.
Okay. Now it sounds familiar.
Kevin Comer.
As do all answers after you don't get them.
Right. I knew that.
He was a pitcher.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Played with the Blue Jays, Astros, Tigers, and Twins organizations.
Quieted the crowd. Strauss being a good counter puncher there.
Clank goes down.
That's a nice stop.
No, fortunate. The turf monster got him right there.
Okay, I just saw him go down, and I'm looking through the windows, our double windows here. Now I see it was just a trip. A lot of bodies over there all the same, so.
I thought Mr. K would have gotten that. He has his extensive baseball, South Jersey baseball knowledge.
Well, I feel like if he was drafted directly out of high school in the first round, we would have remembered it. But I'm going to think he went to college and was drafted.
Well, he graduated from Seneca in 2011. Was also selected in the first round, 57th overall in the 2011 Major League Baseball draft. So he went right out of high school.
Well, he would have been a second round pick, 57th overall.
Yep.
Not that I'm coming up with excuses or anything.
Davis across the middle, incomplete. No flags thrown, looking for Matt Carlin again. And Sterling will take over on downs with 5:39 remaining.
Boy, I'll tell you, give credit to Sterling right here, coming up the plate. This entire series doing what they have to do to stop Seneca. It looked like somebody got a hand on that ball. Let's take a look here. Just looked like it got a little bit on there, enough to make it...
Or at least disrupted the vision. How about this score from the Colonial Conference? Camden holds off West Deptford 36-28. And West Deptford, as we saw in the Open, doesn't even have a win yet.
But you talk about a team that's got a brutal schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely... Yeah.
Low snap. Thompson looking across the middle as Valeriano, but just overthrows him again.
Wow.
That's one that Thompson's going to want back.
Yeah.
And if you're Seneca...
That was 6.
He's open by 5 yards.
Yeah. That was definitely 6. And like we said, we've already seen Valeriano get the ball and outrun defenders to the end zone. Go to it again. I mean, if they continue to let Christian Valeriano go deep and get an extra step on them, keep going to it.
5:33 left to go, 2nd and 10 from their own 18 are the Silver Knights. Low snap again. Thompson in trouble, and he goes down in the backfield. Back at the 10-yard line, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 18.
And that low snap definitely makes it difficult because you're taking a split second away from the amount of time you have to make a read and look and see what's in front of you. So he really had no shot there. But, the offensive side of the ball, Seneca's come up short. But, boy, that defensive line, Stefan, again, has come up big.
Seneca's defensive line they're playing like they have something to prove right now.
Yep.
Big 3rd down here for Sterling. Under 4 3/4 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. Sterling trailing by 10. Thompson from the shotgun. Looking to pass. Goes across the middle and incomplete. Was looking for Hassan Blakeney. And once again overthrown. And that's going to bring up 4th down and long. And I don't think Sterling has any choice here but to go for it.
Yeah. And Blakeney maybe wasn't as wide open as Valeriano, but still had an extra step on the defender.
I don't think it's a big mystery who Seneca's going to key on here on 4th and long.
And you've seen them in the last couple plays after they went deep to Valeriano, now start to give him a pretty good cushion.
Valeriano going to line up on the near side at about the 9. Fourth and long.
Possible slant to Valeriano.
Snap is good. Thompson in trouble. And he goes down. Goes down at the goal line. It is not a safety. At least they don't have the indication yet. They're going to say first and goal from inside the 1.
First and goal.
Big stop by the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, they're getting penetration from up the gut. And good job of containment on the outside. And they just close in on Jeremiah Thompson and really gave him no chance to set and look downfield.
And that's a play that Seneca really needed right there.
Yep.
Because Sterling was looking like a high-powered offense right there.
Seneca, 3 feet from pay dirt, can put this game away. Davis going to keep it himself and walk into the end zone for the touchdown.
Touchdown for the Golden Eagles.
Davis scores from a yard out. His second rushing touchdown of the night.
And another play. Ran right up the gut.
A Seneca offense that when they're going good, 1 yard is not tough for them to get. But I go back to the job that the defensive line of Seneca did in this game to kind of turn things around. Or not turn things around, stop the onslaught of the strong offense.
The extra point is up, and the extra point is in fact good by Vince Abate. And with 4:17 remaining, Seneca 40, Sterling 24.
And with 4:17 remaining, the Eagles have a 41-24 lead.
Take a look at the upcoming schedule for Sterling, Schulze, and not an easy schedule by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I mean, Gloucester is always tough. Paulsboro, obviously, is one of the top teams, lead teams in the conference, always one of the top teams in Group 1. And then Delran now we're going to get, this was the game that's supposed to be tonight, got canceled, but that's rescheduled for November 25th, the day before Thanksgiving. So Sterling extending their season with that extra game.
A tough next 3 games ahead of them.
(41-24) as we take a look at the Sterling cheerleaders. They work so hard.
Yeah.
Do such a great job with the interacting with the fans, and even though it's a limited fan capacity here, doing such a great job. And shout out to Coach Jordan and the rest of her staff for doing such a great job with these girls and keeping the school spirit up. Even if we don't have all the students in school every single day, we're still doing the best we can here, and kudos to them.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of, obviously you want it to go back to normal, but getting used to just living with this and doing the best we can.
Just super happy that we have the luxury of being here in the booth tonight and watching some high school sports. And I'm sure the student athletes would say the same. I'm sure they're happy to be out there.
Yeah.
Tough scenario because there are schools around the country, I'm sure, that are wishing that they had this, an opportunity to play here.
Yeah. I just, prior to this game, the Willingboro-Haddonfield game got canceled. I heard or saw that on a tweet.
Oh my goodness.
So
So 4:10 remaining. Sterling in hurry-up mode, trailing by 17. Showed the ability to strike quickly to Valeriano, but they're going to have a 3-score deficit. Thompson looking Valeriano's way, but over to Blakeney. Blakeney out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. And Sterling to hurry up to the line here with 4:03 remaining.
Blakeney has the look of a back who can get out in the flat and turn the shoulders upfield and really has some jump to his step, and looks like he can make things happen if you get him out in the open.
He's looking like a good number 2 receiver to Jeremiah right now.
And now I think they had him in the backfield at one point.
Thompson, cross midfield, he's got some room, nice little spin move, and he's tackled from behind inside the 35 at the 34. Love the fight that Sterling still has here in the waning moments under 4 to play.
And if you're Thompson, you see things break down, there's some room off to that left side, tuck it in and go.
Yeah, the fact that he's actually more mobile now, that just gives him a little bit more advantage.
3.5 remaining. Sterling with Jeremiah Thompson from the shotgun looking to set up the screen. Thompson looks it away, and he goes down, and they're going to lose 5. Timeout.
Passing down here.
Timeout Sterling. There's their first timeout. 3:18 remaining here in the 4th.
And I can't say there's any one defensive lineman or end that's really been part of the pressure. It looks like they're doing it as a team. You get pressure up the middle one play to push them to the outside. Great containment. They're really working well as a unit as far as, what they're able to do in that defensive front. And Stefan, you can talk about that being a D lineman.
Yeah, when all the pieces of the puzzle for the D line's going together and they're all just, working in one motion, it's going to be hard to win. As I was coached by Coach Dallas, he told us the defensive line is the most important part of the defense. You win the battle at the line of scrimmage, you're more likely going to win the game.
Yeah, you put pressure on the quarterback, you force him to throw by not setting his feet. That's where you see the overthrows. And a lot of times people think, the quarterback, he's off in his mechanics, he's rushing things. Well, there's a reason why, and usually it's the D line.
For all you baseball fans out there, the Dodgers currently leading the Rays 5-0 in top of the 5th. Thompson complete to Richardson. Dodgers getting 1 in the 1st and then 2 in the 3rd and 4th innings, and currently no hitting the Rays right now. And Mr. K is probably chomping at the bit to start watching that. Wish it was the Phillies, but Thompson again looking for Valeriano, incomplete. Kanopka on the coverage, and a penalty marker thrown on the field as Valeriano's hurt. Well, I think it pops right back up.
I don't know that this was pass or interference. I could be wrong on the replay. It looked like they were both going up for it.
They're going to say hold against Sterling. So I don't know what.
They're offsetting. Yeah, I thought they were both going up for it. Yeah.
Good defensive play. 2:41 remaining on the 4th quarter clock.
And if you're the defensive back, you're thinking to yourself, geez, this is the first time I haven't allowed this kid to get past me.
Yeah.
I think I make a good play, which really, on the replay, looks like he did. And you get called for the penalty.
I'm surprised that Jeremiah Thompson even got that ball off.
Yeah.
It was a great job by him staying in the pocket and taking a shot and getting a good ball out there. Speaking of which, another pass incomplete, looking for Valeriano. It didn't look like they were on the same page on that one. Valeriano went left, the pass went right.
And you see just getting rid of
should
it
have zagged
quickly. Back in the shotgun. He's just going to take a step back and get rid of it. Again, talking about what the defensive line's doing is dictating what Sterling has to do. One step back, get rid of it quickly.
There's a lot of pressure in his face that he doesn't really want.
Yep.
4th and 11. Trips to the far side. Thompson from the shotgun being pressured. They put the blitz on. He puts up the ball, and it is incomplete. Threw into double coverage. Looking on the far side for Blakeney. And the Golden Eagles will take over. And for all intent and purposes, not their first victory of the season.
You know, had Blakeney definitely covered there by 2 defensive backs from Seneca, who made sure they didn't allow Blakeney to get behind them. See right here on that far side, almost had a tip, but all for naught.
So Sterling will host next week Gloucester, which will be an interesting game for you guys. Little home cooking for you guys.
Yeah, you always go back there, you see some people you haven't seen in years.
A long run here. Here comes Thorpe. Thorpe down the far sideline. 1 man to beat. And he is taken out of bounds prior to the goal line. Good pursuit to save the touchdown, but Thorpe.
And with what you were able to do to come back, and give credit to these kids. A lot of teams, Stefan down 20-0 would have just rolled over, but Sterling didn't do that.
And that's something that they can build on, you know, moving forward with these next 3 games they have on the schedule, showing that they have a lot of fight in them, even though they were down by 20.
Yeah, yeah.
High snap that Davis falls on, and shows you weren't here for this, but Davis fumbled the first snap of the game. Sterling got the ball at the Seneca 30 and wasn't able to capitalize. Actually went backwards. So
well, that's the other thing. You struggled early on offensively, stuck with it, adjusted and found some opportunities, especially to Valeriano, for some big plays. And again, some things on the offensive side of the ball that some positives that you can take out of this game.
Sterling still looking for their first victory of the season. Seneca comes in the first meeting ever against Sterling and defeat the Sterling Silver Knights 41-24. Next game will be next Friday night as they will host Gloucester for the first time in a very long, probably one of the really long time, if not the first time. We'll have that for you right here on Channel 19. For John Hallwood, Stefan Johnson, Kevin Schultz, Ted Kozaneski, and the entire Channel 19